new season. And you know the interesting thing about God is that when you perceive, it doesn't just come to you alone. It's a word that flows in the atmosphere. So it has to be people who have hearing ears. They're able to pick what is happening. Because you don't want to say, oh, I was here and something new didn't happen. So why am I saying this? So that you can be sensitive to take note of what is about to happen in this season. I don't know what the new is for you in your life. But all I know is that there is something new. And I've gotten confirmations from about 2 or 3 persons. Faith to receive results. Hebrews 11 verse 30 to 35. Hebrews 11, 30 to 35. New King James Version. Hebrews 11, 30 to 35. Can I have it on the screen? Is that possible? Yes, thank you. New King James, please. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. 31. Media, what's going on? By faith, the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not when she had received the spice with peace. You see, everything that was happening, their victory, it was what? By what? By what? Good. It says, and what more, what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon, of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets. 33. Who through faith did what? Subdued kingdoms. Wrought what? Righteousness. Obtained what? Promises. Stopped what? The mouths of lions. 34. Quenched what? The violence of fire. Escaped the edge of the sword. Out of weakness were made strong. Waxed valiant in fight. Turned to flight the armies of the aliens. 35. Women received their dead raised to life again. This result could only happen by what? By faith. Listen. When you are praying for a shift or a new season, there's something you must activate, and it's faith. You see, faith never makes sense, but always makes miracles. Faith is not sensible. That's why when you tell someone that I'm stepping into something and they cannot comprehend it, you can't blame them. Don't argue it. I remember years ago, I called one of my friends and said, God told us that we're going to start. And she said, you will suffer. Why is it what you are going to, what you are hearing? And the first thing I did was to purge my heart of her words. Because you see, listen, in faith realm, if people are not like you in that realm, they can't understand. Because the faith realm has nothing to do with your senses. Common sense and faith realm cannot sync. Faith and flesh and fear can sync, but faith and flesh can never sync. Because faith is spiritual. By faith, women received their dead raised to life again. And so one of the things I did was to disconnect from her because she could not understand where I was going to. Even me, there are times God will tell you to move to a place or do something new. You cannot understand, and you don't have to understand. Faith realm, you don't need to understand, but just move. Because it doesn't need analysis, it just needs movement. By faith. But the thing is, how can you even build faith to see results? How can you build faith to receive results? Number one, what you see. And I'm going to stay there because of time. What you see, your sight. And I'm not talking about your human eyes. You know why? Because you see, I've seen someone who is blind, but yet the person has sight. The person is blind, cannot see with his 2 physical eyes. But you see, the person is expanding. The person is enlarging. When you sit with this person, the person is able to think. There are people you sit with, you go low. There are people you sit with, you just go high. Have you ever sat to have conversation with somebody when you go, you have this holy anger to do something more. You're like, no, I can't hibernate. This is not where I should be. This is not enough. There are people you see, they'll just clap you into lowness. There's this guy. He's blind physically, but he's doing a lot. He's not looking at his physical defects. That's what I'm saying. Listen, faith has nothing to do with your physical eyes. You can have physical eyes but lack sight. What you see is a prerequisite to activate faith. What you see. I'm talking about perception. I'm talking about spiritual sight. I'm talking about vision. What you see. Look at this very interesting story. Media, you have to be very fast. Numbers 13, verse 30 to 33. New King James Version. What you see. Let's look at this very interesting story of two categories of people. The Caleb and then the 10 spies. Many of you know the story. Numbers 13, verse 30 to 33. Look at it. Now these guys had their Amalekites. They had oppressors. Please, I want to remove my shoe so I can be comfortable. These guys, two categories of people. They had the Caleb. You have the 10 spies. They had the spies. The oppressors were there. Normal. You always meet people that will want to oppress you. They want to shut you down. Shut your vision. Tell you can't do it. You can't make it. So I'm bringing this scripture into reality. Now, in verse 30, then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and take possession, for we are well able to overcome it. This was a human being, a particular person. See, we are well able to overcome it. But the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go up against these people, for they are stronger than we. I wasn't angry yet, but let's look at verse 32. And they gave the children of Israel a bad report of the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great stature. Verse 33, just follow it. Look at the one that got me angry. There we saw the giants, the descendants of Anak came from the giants, and we were like grasshoppers in our own sights. They didn't call them grasshoppers. They saw themselves as grasshoppers. And so we were in their sights. Nobody called them names. They named themselves. I will always say this. The greatest discourager is you, not your friends. Everybody can be in a church. Church members, different department, choir, this. You say, I want to release an album. This one say, no, don't release or you don't have voice. Hey, what have you even done? Until you tell yourself you can't, nobody else can stop you. It's what you see. Nobody can stop you. First time, God told me to take my conference out of our church auditorium and go get a bigger space. It's time to give him a cup to fill. And somebody close to me, that we have a biological relationship. She said to me, you are too feeble. I never knew the meaning of feeble. I had to check dictionary. Have somebody told you a word, like a thing, then there's a way the person will speak the grammar, it will hit you. Feeble. I'm like, wow. They even say weak, feeble. That's heavy. I had to check the meaning. I didn't even know. If somebody said something to you, it sends you to your dictionary. So I checked the meaning, feeble. Wow. Wow, that's heavy. And the person that told me is like a mother to me. So I was like, wow, I'm feeble. But I looked at myself, I said, there's a giant on your inside. Appearance-wise, you may look like you are frail, but you are not. I kept on moving with what God told me. And finally, when I did, the same person came to me and said, wow, you are victorious. You see what I found out from there? Anybody will say anything to shut you down. And sometimes it's not their fault. It's just their genuine concern. Oh, how can you do this? It's too much. Oh, the money is too much. The capital is so much. But until you see yourself as big, nobody can shut your sights. What you see. Imagine David. They sent David to go and meet his brothers. His brothers say, go and carry bread. Go and give your brothers. They are at Goliath's camp. He went there. King Saul Didn't even look at him as anything. Goliath now looked at him from head to toe. But you see, he didn't see himself as small regardless of every person around him. If I could kill the bear, if I could kill the lion, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Look at them. He says, we're like grasshoppers in our own sight. Nobody can intimidate you except you. Nobody. I said, nobody can intimidate you except you. The truth you tell yourself is what stays with you and what you grow with and move with. God told me to host Refresh in US and all the nations of the world. You think I didn't have fear? I tell people that faith is not absence of fear. Faith is only fear acted out. Faith is fear acted out. So I'm not sitting, I'm moving. I'm acting out. I'm fearfully acting out. We're like grasshoppers. People look at me and say, hey, how are you going to do it? Oh, you are moving from one. God told you to do this. It was just, God told me that was enough capital. I just needed to see myself in those nations. Nobody can shut your dream. And you know you are the one that is pregnant with it. So nobody can. Have you seen a woman who is pregnant? How many of you are married here? Come on now. You know now, you're married. The child didn't jump now. You know what he did, right? So, my point is, no matter how your husband, for those that have been pregnant, tells you, oh, sorry. Oh, how do you feel? You're having discomfort. There are times in the night, only you sleep your sleep, carry your body. Right? You are the only one. He can't carry that pregnancy for you. No matter how you explain, the person cannot understand. You are the one who tells yourself that. Sometimes, no matter how the person encourages you and says straight, sometimes your husband can even know. You feel like giving. Oh my goodness. You know what I mean, right? It's kind of like, before you know it, you have slept off. Like, so when we're doing the worship, what we're doing together, but now you have slept off. You know, you guys know what I mean. Singles, let me not go deep because of the singles here. And then you are there. You are carrying it on your own. When you get to the labor room, I don't know what you guys call it here in the US, you have to push. Say push. No matter how the man tries to say, oh, honey, I love you. Sometimes you don't want to hear that. What's love? You know, that kind of thing. My point is, you are the one with the baby, the seed. If you do not tell yourself you are willing to push, nobody will push it. So until you see yourself as one that is pregnant with something, until you see yourself that you have the enough capacity to push, nobody can shut what you have seen about you. It says we're like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight. That's an insult. So they already insulted themselves before the people even saw them as that. People can see you as small, but if you see yourself as big, whatever they say, their comment doesn't matter. Look at the story of Joshua. Let's look at Joshua 6, verse 1 to 2. What you see. Joshua 6, verse 1 to 2. Joshua 6, verse 1 to 2. Look at the story. Now, Jericho was securely shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. Verse 2. And the Lord said to Joshua, see, look at the exclamation mark. I have given Jericho into your hand, its king and the mighty men of valor. Now, the Lord didn't say, I have given Jericho into your hand. He said, see. Because somebody can give you a prophecy. If you don't see yourself in it, it can't amount to anything. So the Lord told Joshua, see. Even the Lord knew how powerful faith can be activated when you can perceive right. Say, see. He didn't just start with, I have given Jericho into your hand, his king and the mighty man. No, see. Because I know that you're already victorious. But if you don't see yourself as victorious, you can't conquer Jericho. So you have to see it. See, I have given Jericho into your hands. So before this, he told them what to do. The next verse that talks about the instruction, march around the city and all of that. See, if they did not see it, even if they marched around the city, they would never have conquered.